Hi everyone, it's Victor speaking, and today I'm here to talk about the Mercury Hygeia Conjunction, which is also triggered by Mars as well. So I don't think I have made a video about what Hygeia is, so I wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of what it represents in our chart. By the way, it is an asteroid. Its number is 10. So if you want to know where your Hygeia is in your natal chart, just go on astro.com and then enter number 10 into the asteroid box, and then it will pop up in your chart. Now, if you like the video, make sure you press like and hit the notification bell. And also, if you would like to have a reading with Tsweti or myself, then just go on my website, AstroViktor.com, and then you will be able to gain some new perspective on your chart as well. Now, Hygeia is conjuncting Mercury on the 17th of August, and it's going to be happening on 9 degrees. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to make a video about this is because this is going to be very much about our mental health. And I wanted people to be ready for this period of time. So Hygeia was discovered in 1849, and she is the personification of health, cleanliness, and sanitization. She was actually the daughter of the Greek god of medicine. I would like to point out that Hygeia is not necessarily just about health situations, but it also the way we practice things. So it's kind of like the asteroid of prevention of health. So something which we do on a daily basis, like brushing your teeth or cleaning the kitchen, or, you're going to be washing your hands, or, you flush the toilets, or you're scrubbing the toilets every now and then. So it's something to do with, we do all those things because we want to be preventing, for instance, our teeth to be destroyed. So all these are preventions, something to do with future forward thinking. And we do that because we want to be preventing some type of sicknesses, and we want to be preserving our health. Now, actually, Hygeia is also connected to the word sanity, which comes from sanitus. And actually that indicate that, if I translated that means health. So it's very much about preventing actions we should take to have mental, emotional, and spiritual balance in our life. Now, there are different types of names for Hygeia. It's also called as Salus or Valetudo. Valetudo is something to do with personal health. Salus is actually salvation or safety, welfare, but it also indicates salt as well. Now, you can see in the background the symbol of Hygeia. There are actually two symbols or two glimpses. One is about having two snakes wrapped around the rod, which is actually, the rod is staff of Hermes. And there is a star above the snake as well. Now, the snake is kind of an animal which is able to regenerate itself. But also it's very poisonous as well. But the poison actually gives us the possibility for the cure as well, to find the cure. Right? And if you really think about what a snake does, it's always on the ground. So it's very much about feeling the vibration of the earth as well, in one way or another. So some of the keywords for Hygeia probably something to do with health, tradition, and natural homeopathic type of medicine, but it also can indicate doctors and healers in our chart, disease, illness, toxins, the fear of poison, the fear of doctors, the fear of any type of medical incisions. It could represent hypochondria or hesitation to go and have a checkup. It could represent operations, misdiagnosis in our chart, but also drug abuse and diet and worrying about your health, or worrying about the condition of your family and the friends as well. So Hygeia is actually, in my opinion, is in your natal chart, shows how you can live a great, healthy lifestyle overall. Now, I don't want to speak about discovery chart of Hygeia, but actually when Hygeia was discovered, she was on 29 degree of Virgo. So it's kind of like not really a surprise, let's put it that way. Now, what's also important about this conjunction is that Mercury is on one hand talks about the mental activities. Now, I made a webinar about mental health. It was a good 4.5 hours. So unfortunately, we don't have time to go through all of that. But Mercury is something to do with how you actually process your thoughts, or how you actually take the information what you've got, right? But Mercury is also something to do with the hands. So for instance, if I put Hygeia and Mercury together, that could talk about the hand sanitization. So, and it happens actually in the sign of Virgo as well, which is very much about the routine, the health regime, and again, the prevention. So this could actually indicate a couple of things. There are going to be new ways of, for instance, sanitizing your hands. Or Mercury can also represent the breath we take. So unfortunately, it could very much talk about the mask we have to wear to protect ourselves when it comes to, you know, the COVID situation, for instance. Okay. Now, again, it's not a political video, so I would like you to refrain yourself from any type of COVID comments. One of the reasons why I mentioned it, because this is what's current at the moment, right? But Mercury is definitely going to be playing a significant role here. So this conjunction for me is very much talking about that in the next 9 months, we're gonna have to watch out the way we perceive information and whether we look after our mental health overall or not. What type of practices we do actually to, you know, to kind of sweep out all the negative thoughts, what we might be having. And as I said, there is also Mars being involved here, because Mercury is going to be a conjunction to Mars as well very shortly. Now, I would like to say that Mars is actually the very first planet which breaks away from the sun. So if you think about it, the order of the planets, Venus, which is never going away more than 48 degrees from the sun, Mercury, which never goes away more than 28, 29 degrees from the sun. So the next in line is Mars, and that is the first planet which breaks away from the sun. So kind of like moves beyond our ego in a sense. Okay, so that's why Mars is in astrology looked at as a personal planet, but in astronomical point of view, actually it's an outer planet already. Okay, now Mars, in my opinion, is the planet of depression, especially in the sign of Virgo. So it's a signature of mental health, especially if there is Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, North Node or the South Node involved as well here. So this is very much talking about doing some type of action, Mars, to prevent Hygeia, our mental health, Mercury, in the sign of Virgo. So I feel like you know, and then it really depends on where is that planet falling into your chart. So, you know, that Mercury, Hygeia, Mars conjunction, look at what house it is falling into, because actually it could show what area of life you might need to be decluttering. So Mercury is your mind, your perception, your thoughts, your logic, your communication. And if it happens around your Pluto, for instance, then it could be giving us obsessive thoughts. It could give us mental restlessness, or some type of, we might feel like that like a higher force is controlling our mind, and we can actually have paranoid thoughts as well, or we can become very anxious. If Mercury is connecting, for instance, to your Uranus, then we can become, again, it's a sign of anxiety, but our thoughts can be like racing very rapidly. Even it could bring in some type of hallucinations as well, or some type of psychotic behavior also. if Mercury if this combination is connecting to your Neptune, then it's very much about how we assess reality in an objective way, and it could cause insomnia or oversleeping, overall sleep issues, and also the hallucination here plays a very significant role as well. If Mercury is connecting to your South Node, actually it could indicate that you're going to have some type of speech problems going on, and you are not able to kind of formalize the words, or the need to actually speak about something which is going to give peace to your mind as well. So it might indicate that you're going to have to somehow work on the communicational blockages altogether. But also with the South Node, it could show that some of our negative way of thinking might be actually preventing us from something. Now, this is actually, I would like to mention that by transit, this Mercury, Hygeia, and Mars are trining Uranus. As I mentioned, Uranus is actually giving us that restlessness around our thought process, but it also, Uranus kind of wants you not to pay attention to that mental well-being of yours, and kind of Hygeia wants you to pay attention to that at the same time. Now, when that conjunction is actually happening, Moon is also going to be squaring as well. So it could, it's going to be, yeah, squaring. So something around our emotional well-being is very much triggered here. Okay, so that's kind of important to mention. Now, you know, as I mentioned, Mars is involved here as well. So Mars is, in my opinion, is the planet of depression. Why do I think that? One of the reasons why, because when we look at the symptoms of depression, such as, for instance, angry outbursts, the anger is very much connected to Mars. Or when we actually lose interest, or we don't find pleasure anymore in our normal activities, that is kind of related to Mars also. Or when it comes to even insomnia, we are not able to sleep, depression, one of the symptoms of depression, that's kind of Mars and Neptune related as well, because Mars is kind of like indicating that the body wants to kind of keep going, right? Or we feel very tired and we have got lack of energy. Mars represents the energy as well, okay? Or anxiety, agitations, and restlessness, very Mars. Or when it comes to like the body movements, we don't want to be getting out of bed. That's very much Mars, because Mars represents why we get out of the bed in the morning. So Mars plays a very significant role when it comes to depression. Now, depression usually comes when we don't give enough, when we don't give ourselves the opportunity to be angry, and we internalize our anger, and somehow it gets stuck within the body. So remember that Mars rules over anger, frustration, initiatives, the flight and fight effect, the sense of defeat, survival needs, what we stand for. So this Mars-Mercury Hygeia conjunction is actually very much about healing Hygeia, a part of ourselves in our mind, what we want to be standing up for, or what is actually causing us some type of frustration, and maybe we need to verbalize that. Okay, so pretty much that's what I would say. You know, you're gonna have to kind of think about what makes you angry, and maybe you want to be listing those things that make you angry and try to find a common ground in them. Right, so Mars is kind of like a freedom fighter. It fights for what he believes is right. But when it's dysfunctional, and let's be frank, Mars in Virgo is a little bit weaker, okay, then it might feel that we don't have the right to be angry, or we are afraid of being angry, or we have never achieved anything, or our childhood was filled with plenty of anger, and therefore I'm afraid of showing my anger, or I don't feel powerful enough, and kind of like I'm losing control over my own life. And it happens in the sign of Virgo, which is very much about control energy, one of the controlling signs, right? So you always want to be looking at, for instance, in your natal chart, what is kind of attacking Mars, what type of blockages it has to kind of deal with, because that could be causing the reason of depression, for instance. So I'll give you an example. Let's suppose that Mars is actually connecting with your Saturn, for instance. Then it could really talk about that some of the discipline in your life is causing you some type of depression. Maybe you are told what to do, or you were told what to do when you were a child. And then whenever you try to assert yourself, then you are told something to do the opposite. So there is this internal response, which is the depression. So, or because I have to procrastinate something all the time, and so forth. So I'm not going to go through all the planets because that would be long, but I just wanted you to know that this combination, especially those people who are suffering from some type of mental health matters, and they need to be watching out, and they need to be learning how to process and basically kind of push through their you know, their minds. Now, of course, it has got a manifestation on the physical level as well. So you know, remember that with Virgo, which is very much talking about the little things we do every day to help ourselves, to help our mind to be clear. So do something which is actually a small, but it can make a very you know, huge, it can make a huge change in your life. Or if you feel stressed or tired, or you lack in concentration, or you feel like no one is really caring about you, maybe with that Mars, go and then do some exercises, which is going to be kind of pumping up your vein a little bit. Or maybe that Hygeia is telling you that it's time to actually practice a 5-10 minute meditation as well. But this combination is very much about thinking about, you know, what can give a peace to your mind. And as I said, 2 days later, Mercury is going to be conjunct in Mars as well. So you also need to be watching out for that, because we can have a very sharp tongue this time around, but it also talks about mental acuity. Our mind can be a lot quicker, kind of like it's a problem-solving aspect. So from the mundane perspective, in my opinion, masks are going to be coming back, hand sanitization going to be important. And something to do with maybe even the medical workers in one way or another, but will be standing up for their own rights also. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. There is a lot more to say about Mercury and Mars conjunction, but I think I'm going to be making a different video about that also. So have a blessed day, everyone, and take care of yourself. Bye-bye.